Coming to you from the Amazon Games community team, it's the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club with your host, straight out of the Roxx box, it's Roxx.
Welcome to the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club. This is where our contestants debate to prove they have what it takes not to be a Mokoko. I'm Roxx, and I'm here to make sure things don't get too weird. Right, Mokoko?
Did you know Mokoko sees my unborn best friend?
Yeah. We survived week 1, so that means it's time for episode 2 of the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club. We're gonna start right now by bringing out our contestants. First up is DatModz. He's coming. I think. Oh, there he is. There he is. Join us, join us. Next up, we have Stoopzz.
I'm on top of the world.
I'm happy for you. All right, next up, we have Grenton. Yeah.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
no.
I did
All
it earlier.
right,
This is wrong.
Moving right on from that, finally, we're bringing out Bobajenny. Yeah. There we go. We're gonna get things started right away by rolling out into our warm-up debate. Remember, this is a 2 versus 2 debate. There are no rules, nothing matters. Do whatever you want. Within reason, please. Our teams are split already. We're gonna have DatModz and Stoopzz versus Grenton and Bobajenny. Today's warm-up topic is, what is the best city to hone in? Think about it, but not too hard, because I'm gonna tell you what your favorite city. Okay, you guys get Vern, Grenton and Bobajenny. Punica.
All right.
Thanks, Stoopzz.
All right, I'll give you all a minute to strategize, make your arguments, and then we'll get right into our warm-up debate.
Our strongest argument here is Bobajenny copies me and homes the North Road. Okay.
You're probably wondering why we're asking all these creators to prove that they're not Mokokos. Well, Mokokos are pretty cute and they're pretty nice. The one we have on set is a little bit questionable, that's not the point. But we're asking them to prove that they're not Mokokos because in-game, the Mokoko buff is something that's put in place to help new players. If you're under item level 1445, you get a buff to monsters, you take less damage from monsters, and you get a bunch of free items. And we don't think they deserve free items. They have thousands of hours in the game, they should know better by now, and they should understand the ins and outs of Arcadia. They play more than we do, they don't need any free shit. So there's no shame in being a Mokoko, being a new player. We want you to get in game, and that's one of the reasons we offer the buff, so you can get on your footing in Arcadia a little bit easier as you learn and grow. But they don't need to learn and grow anymore, and it's disappointing if they feel like they still do. All right. It looks like that has been about a minute. Debaters, are you feeling ready? Feeling good?
Yep.
All right, fight.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a very superstitious player.
Okay.
I've gone to every continent, testing the honing in every single area.
Have you seen his Ignia tokens?
That's true.
That's right, all of them. I get the golden pony.
Attaboy.
Some people might accuse me of having streamer buff, but
there
it's
a
not
point to
streamer
this?
buff, okay? North Vern,
Well, you're supposed
Channel
to debate
3.
for Punica, so yeah.
North Vern, Channel 3 is by far the best honing area in the entire game. 1 taps all the time, crazy quality taps, 9/7 stones. It's everything any player wants.
No way, because I pitied some stuff in Vern, though.
And I've seen a lot of clips from your stream where you're raging in Vern.
You see his hunter quality? Have you seen that?
Have you
Did
seen
you
all the
see
clips?
my
Have you seen it?
Listen.
Have you seen it?
The
All
real
I have to
question
say-
is, though, Bobajenny, when you go to hone, where do you hone at?
I heard you copy Mr. Mods.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I've
I'm
heard
gonna
you
give
do.
you a hint, Jenny,
That's
you're
what we-
supposed to say Punica if you want to win.
I've heard that.
Stoopzz hones in
Well-
Punica, and Stoopzz is probably the person out of us 4 who hones the most because he makes every single character.
Your character's just as hell, man. Don't act like you in a whale, man. I've seen your
Where do
character,
you think I
man.
hit all my quality?
I'm
With
just
Punica.
No, man, you lot. Where you?
I
where
hone
you
in
honing?
Phaeton.
That's where
and-
demons hone.
Exactly, because I'm a demon.
You guys are awful at this. No, you
The only
own in
people-
Punica and you own in Vern. I don't know why you're trying to go, yes, Arcasia's very big. It's a vast open
All I have
world.
to
We've
say
all
is
seen
look
the
at all the
ads.
I don't like honing in Vern. It's the land of the bots, man. I don't like honing in Vern.
If you're losers, then you lose.
Listen,
all right,
Stoopzz, all I have to say is look at all the clips at the top, like 1 taps and everything. That's always in Punica, man. Lila is too
Punica's
strong.
pretty lucky. That's where I got my 100 weapon as well.
No, the
Yeah.
only thing
So-
people are doing in Punica are role-playing and having dance parties in the water.
Because they don't need to
Okay.
hone anymore. They got 25
Because they're
weapons.
so
And
happy
they're
they're
they went to Vern
dancing.
first to hone, and then they go to Punica to hang out and chill. And
It's very system. You look at the town. It's super super simple. Everybody's around the honing vendor and Vern because they're just pitying their stuff. Punica, they're all on the beach chilling because it's all one
They're
taps.
done. They're done.
Yeah.
You hear that beach, you hear lie the entire time. It's demonic.
I never said it's a good place to
enjoy
be,
the
but it's the
festival.
best place to hone.
All right, I
you
feel
go home
like
there.
our actual debaters
why I
for this
pity everybody.
episode are warmed up, and Stoopzz has given up, so I'm going to call it
I don't know.
there.
I hate that place.
We're going to cut to commercial really quick, and we'll be right back to you after this break on the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club.
Bobajenny said some things about me, and it really got me thinking. I think I might actually be getting old. My sight, it's starting to dwindle. My reactions aren't there anymore. I think my time is actually coming near. And honestly, the only thing I want is for you, the audience, to vote for me in the live finale of the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club. That's my last wish.
Hey everybody, my name is Grenton. Are you having trouble completing your raids? Are you putting all your priorities to the side to watch the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club? Well, don't worry. With our flash summer sale, you will save 15% on all buses in Artesia, no matter the driver. Make sure you use code Grenton at checkout and get yourself ready for our live finale of the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club in August. So come on down today and get your bus passes.
Make sure to use code Grenton.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club. It's time to kick off our 1 versus 1 debate today with Grenton and Bobajenny. Remember, this is a structured debate, so contestant 1 will have 1 minute to make an argument, contestant 2 will have 1 minute, and then both sides will have 1 minute each for a response. So for today's debate topic, what class would you want the most experienced person in your raid to be playing? I'll let you think about it, but I think it would be really interesting if we got kind of like a DPS versus support. Both sides are very important, you know? Think about that. Pick your classes.
Now, they want to argue for my support homies.
Support homies? All right.
I'll argue for the DPS, homies.
Perfect. Sounds good. So, spectators, you're going to listen into their arguments with me, and then we'll discuss afterwards to decide who our Mokoko is. I'll give you all a minute to strategize.
I think it's a pretty interesting topic. I mean, you have to choose between a DPS and a support. I'd pick Gunlancer and Bard. Those would be my 2 options. I feel like they have the most impactful role in the group.
But would you pick DPS or support?
If I had to pick one,
Like,
Support.
which side? Support?
support for sure.
It all depends on the rate that you're doing. If you have a super juicer damage, they could definitely carry the end of some raids if everyone else ends up dying. Support players, if they know how to time all their skills correctly, shields, reductions,
I mean, look
knockback mechanics,
look at our
make a
group.
big meaningful difference.
We have a verse in our group and we still wipe it. Al's always dead. He's our paladin. We can't clear that without him. So.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what they're going to be coming up with.
All right. And that is our minute. Bobajenny, why don't you start us off with your first argument now?
So I am actually going to pick a class that is super well-rounded, even though it's still considered a DPS class, which is the Gunlancer. So you guys might be thinking, why the Gunlancer? We're all gated by supports, but if you really do think about it, aside from supports, we need Gunlancers because it can help the juicers and it could help the people that are a bit squishier. Gunlancers are beefy boys, they don't really die, and they help the support by shielding, and they help the DPS by doing damage, whether it's back attack or Hitmaster. So I feel like the Gunlancer is a really well-rounded class. If someone is super experienced, they can probably play any class, but if you give them something that has kind of jack of all trades, then I think they can do really, really well on it.
Awesome. Grenton, your 1 minute argument starts now.
Yeah, so this one might be a little spicy, but I'm going to choose the artist. So I feel like the artist is probably the most impactful support in the game, not only just because it has, with decent cooldown gems, not like whale cooldown gems, you always have shields up. So you don't need that Gunlancer to add that damage reduction to your group. Not only that, but in some of the hardest content in the game, like Gate 6, when you're dropping those meteors, artist has portals. So a well-experienced artist can set you up to get out fast, keep your uptime on the boss, has very strong heals, very good uptime on their DPS buffs. But not only that, a big thing about artist is that it has punching power too. I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but there was an artist that cleared Procol hard, solo DPS artist in there. So it has the flexibility. So if you have those two builds, you can do it. But also, as a dedicated support, that player can just elevate the skill of the rest of your group by just enabling them to do more damage, keeping them safe, and just keeping that party going.
All right, that was a perfect 1 minute. Jenny, you have 1 minute to rebut him.
Well, I mean, I feel like you have pretty strong cases about the artist, but at the same time, the artists that did Procol, they probably didn't go with a very standardized artist build, which means that they are probably a little bit more useless when it comes to team fights. And on top of that, you have to choose between if you want to heal someone or if you want the buff. So you kind of can only have either or and not both, versus the Gunlancer has shields, taunts. Taunts for Brel would be friggin' amazing. And when they taunt, the back attackers can actually do massive damage as well. And they also have a cleanse. So I feel like instead of choosing one side to play, the Gunlancer can do both. And that's why I chose the Gunlancer.
Yeah, got a few more seconds if you want to make any last points.
Oh, they really just don't die. They're so beefy, they just tank everything, they don't care. So I feel like they're just very, very well-rounded.
Perfect. Perfect closing. Grenton, your final minute for your final argument starts now.
Yep, so you're absolutely right. Procol Gate 2, the artist went in with a DPS build. But guess what? That's the entire fight. They're not there to support their team. They go in with the DPS build. The top side is super easy if you have average players. So they went in there, they cleaned up Procol, and they came back out. But not only that, everything a Gunlancer can do, besides taunt, Artist just does better. They have 2 cleanses, they have more active uptime on their shields, and like I said, that damage buff that you're getting from a Gunlancer, with a good Artist, they'll just enable their team to have the uptime where that damage buff is negligible, the difference between it. So yeah, sure, you might have to decide between healing and juicing your party, but you have so much active mitigation as an Artist that your team doesn't really have to worry about taking that chip damage because it's going to be negated anyways, and they can just focus on blasting the boss. So an experienced player on Artist is going to have such a huge impact in the group, and I'm sure some of you at home probably have had some experienced artists in your group, and it's just a cakewalk, it's a breeze.
Cool, that was your final minute. Spectators, you're gonna head over to me in a minute and we're gonna talk about what we just listened to. So I have our spectators over here with me. Let's talk about what we just heard from our debaters. How are y'all feeling?
I feel like I zoned a lot during it because Grenton was just listing all these things about
Your
like balls.
literal
and,
only job was
I
to
mean,
listen. This is episode 2.
He was talking about DPS artists, and no one cares about DPS artists. And on top of that, Bobajenny was talking about beefcakes and things like that. But I do think they had a lot of good points about Bobajenny talking about the taunts being very useful, great synergy, and I get the idea of a cleanse, but I still think Artist is the worst support.
You get the idea of a cleanse?
I mean, every support has. I mean,
cleanse?
except Bard, but they also have the best DPS buff in the game. So.
DatModz, how are you feeling?
Yeah, no, they both made very compelling arguments. Grenton with the Artist with the positionals with the portals, allowing on Gate 6 easier transitions during Gold Orb phases, and just bypassing different mechanics that you could potentially die to, double cleanse, high DPS uptimes. If you have a good support in a group, it's very noticeable.
Not Artist though. It's like they have to heal themselves.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
How many? Name one good DPS? Name one good Artist.
Me.
You don't even have one, do you?
I got one.
Okay.
Yeah, an amazing chin.
I've never played with you.
Well, I will say, Bobajenny did mention the DPS artist that could clear Procol is probably not a good artist, and that is actually our social media manager. So when you watch this, I apologize. Thank you for being a part of my static. Anyway, anything else about how their arguments kind of made you feel? Any kind of swaying you felt that maybe changed your mind?
And Gunlancer, yeah, it's a straight up Giga Chad class, and it's hard to argue that. It's probably one of the best progression characters in the game, jack of all trades, decent damage. Sometimes not enough damage, but if your support player dies and everyone else is dead in your group, most of the time you can finish a fight as a Gunlancer. For support, you pretty much have to wait for a side reel to come up in order to finish a boss or multiple side reels.
I guess that's enough of that. It sounds like we've come to a consensus. I'll send you back over and we will decide our winner. Really good arguments on both sides today. You know what? Grenton, congratulations. He knows. Does he know? How would you know? I haven't told you. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, you know why.
You know why? I know why?
I think I know why. I think you know that I know why.
I don't think you know.
I know. I'm a Reaper player. I'm like punching from the bottom of the barrel here. I know.
I don't know what you know. I don't know what you don't know. You don't know either.
What?
I know what I know, and you know that I know that I know.
And I know that Grenton is a Mokoko. Congratulations, Bobajenny. You are not a Mokoko.
All right, let's go, Bobajenny.
Let's go.
It's all right, Grenton.
Sorry.
It's all right.
All right, all right.
More
Bobajenny, you and your beefcake gun lancers are not Mokokos today. But remember, none of these debates really matter until the live season finale, where the community will vote on who is and who is not a Mokoko. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Lost Ark Academy Debate Club. If you liked the video, be sure to like it down below and subscribe to our channel for more Lost Ark video content.